Okay, in this video, we are going to go over how to use the encode object to perform rotation of um, equipment. In this case, I've set up three outputs and we are going to rotate three pumps. And I put these outputs on so that you could publish these outputs and have your outputs in another function group, which is typically what I would do. But I put them on here so we could see them turn on and off. On the left-hand side, this would typically be published inputs, um, depending on how many pieces of equipment that you are rotating. So this is basically pump logic from other function groups. So you might have another function group that makes a decision on your main pump to run and then your lag pumps. So typically this would always be a 1 calling for a pump to run, and then 2 and 3 would be your lag pumps. This is your rotation handle, and this would come from another function group, sometimes from a calc object that is basically calculating a value from 0, in this case 0 to 2. So 0 being pump 1 in rotation, 1 being pump 2 in rotation, and 2 being pump 3 in rotation. If we look at the properties, we just want to make sure that we have our max number set up, in this case 3 for the number of pumps we are rotating. We want our encoder type to be rotate. So we would select rotate here. And we would, of course, need to check yes for the 3 left handles on the encoder object so that we could input from our other function groups. So if we're at 0, we should run pump 1. So if we have logic that turns on our main pump, we'll notice that pump 1 turns on. If we change our rotation value to 1, we'll notice pump 2 comes on, pump 1 turns off. And if we change to 2, pump 3 turns on and pump 1 and 2 are off. And then we go back to 0 and it just goes back around again. If we have a lag pump request, we need to run 2 pumps. It would be outputs 1 and 2 at 0. And if we go to 1, it just moves those 2 pumps down to 2 and 3. And if we go to 2, it should be 1 and 3 turn on. So here's 1 and 3. And so we just we do a rotational sequence. And that's how you set up an encode object for rotation.